Os. Welcome UNLV students to the Shotokan Karate Studies program. By now you should know you've already warmed up, you've gotten the warm-up that you feel your body needs, you're adequate for starting the program this morning. So let's go ahead and get started with our typical, quick, general warm-up. Ready? And Hajime. Ichi. Ni. San. Yon. Go. All right, warmed up good there. Let's turn to the side, bring our heels to our glutes. Good, all right. Let's go ahead and do some high knees as well. Get my workout recorded, here we go. High knees. You can do this slow, just like I'm doing. Again, just bringing your knees up. You can do it fast if you feel like kind of bouncing a little bit, working your calves a little bit. Or if you want to go slow, go slow. And yame. All right, let's come up on our toes, stretching out our calves. And yame. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and do some body hip twists. And yame. Good. Arm up, across the side, stretching out our shoulder. Good, other side. Again, don't hold these too long. Just doing dynamic stretches here. Nothing too static, nothing being held for too long. Switching over. Other side. Good. Feet just widen shoulder width. Go down, touch the floor. Go to the right. Back to center. Go to the left. Back to center. All right, make that a little wider. We're gonna go down to the right, turning up on our left heel, stretching out our hamstring. Good, now we're gonna turn to the left in a long front stance. Pushing on the quad here, pushing the knee over the toe. And down to a runner stand, or a runner stretch. Good. Back up. All right, we're gonna do everything to the other side now. Leaning to the left onto the right heel. Toes pointed up. Stretching out your hamstring. All right, let's rotate that all the way around. Good front stance, long, deep, pushing on the quad, pushing the knee out over the toe, getting a good stretch. Transition that into a runner stretch. And come back to center, come back standing. Good. Turn around, fix your gi. Back to me. Yoi. Subirachi. Free. Yoi. Seiza. Dojo-kun. 一つ、人格完成に人を盛ること。一つ、誠の道を守ること。一つと力の精神を養うこと。一つ礼儀を重んずること。一つ景気の湯を戒めること。Ready? That's it. よい。すぐらっち。Ready? よい。Today's class is a beginner class. What we're going to do today is somewhat focus on our two kata that we know at this point, right? As a beginner, we know Taikyoku Shotokan and we know Heian Shotokan. All right, so what I've got lined up today is we're going to go through some drills and then we're going to do the kata. We're going to go through some drills and then we're going to do the kata and then drill and kata. So essentially what we're going to do today is Taikyoku Shotokan 3 times, Heian Shotokan 3 times. So all in all, we're going to do 6 kata today, 2, but we're just going to repeat them each 3 times. And then we're going to go through a drill that is associated or affiliated with Heian Shotokan, because this is what you should really be practicing at this point, working towards your next kata. I don't want to throw Heian Nidan in there yet. Again, this is a very beginner class, so I really want to focus on what beginners are working on. So we'll do, our drills will be Geita Marai, walking in Geita Marai. We'll do a drill walking in Age-uke. All right. We'll do a drill walking in Shuto-uke. Again, part of Heian Shotokan, right? We'll do a drill with Oizuki punch. All right. And then we're going to go a little bit more advanced, something again you should be working towards, and that is a combination of a block and a punch. So we'll probably do Geita Marai with Gyakuzuki, and then Age-uke with Gyakuzuki. So again, you're working a block with a reverse punch. So you are blocking and then a counter attack. Okay, so a defense move followed by an attack move or a counter attack move. Okay, so that's class today. So let's start with the drill. Okay, so we're going to do the drill and then the kata. So let's start with the kata, right? Since Taikyoku Shotokan is a beginner kata and we're not really doing much with this kata, right? All we're doing is punches. That's all we're doing, right? So it's the same pattern as Heian Shotokan. So if you know Taikyoku Shotokan, it's easier to pick up on and learn Heian Shotokan, which is great. So let's do Taikyoku Shotokan to start, and then we'll move into a drill, Taikyoku again, a drill, Taikyoku a 3rd time, a drill, and then we'll move on to Heian Shotokan. Okay, so this should get you some good practice with Heian Shotokan, and what I'd like to do with each time that we do this is do the kata a little bit differently. So the first time we're going to do Taikyoku Shotokan, we're going to do the kata. Second time we're going to do the kata, we're only going to do with footwork. Don't worry about your upper body at all, okay? And then the 3rd time we do it, we're just going to go through it nice and slow, okay? Reverse that. First time, nice and slow. Second time, lower body only. 3rd time, regular speed and pace, okay? All right, let's start. Taikyoku Shotokan. Okay, again, this kata, no blocks. This is all punches. Well, there are blocks, right? When we turn, there's Geita Marai down block. Other than that, it's all punches, Oizuki punch, all right? When you come back to end the kata, there's no Shuto-ukes, okay? So just remember that. This is a fairly basic kata, basic movement, all right? Ready? Let's go through protocol together. Yoi, Subarachi. Ready? Yoi. 1 second, I'll adjust my timer. All right, slow. Go through this slow, okay? I'm not going to count it out for you. This should be your own speed and pace, but I want you to take every movement into account and think about each technique. Okay? Ready? Hajime. And yame. So that was pretty slow. All right, one thing I want you to notice and always take into account with all of your kata, your start position and your end position will be within 1 to 2 feet of one another, right? So if I start my kata, which we did, I started right here on this blue square, going this direction, went through the entire kata, I ended about right here, okay? Just a few inches from my starting position, facing the same direction that the kata started, okay? This is going to apply to about 90% of the kata that you will learn through this program, okay? So keep that in mind. If you end your kata here, you made a misstep somewhere, okay? Even if you did all the movements correctly, even if you did all the techniques, right? At some point you did something incorrect with your footwork. You turned incorrectly, you overturned maybe, you turned too much, okay? So keep that in mind whenever you're finished, when you start and finish kata. A lot of times I tell people to take some painter's tape or electrical tape and just mark a little X where you start, okay? You know exactly where you start your kata, go through your kata, finish the kata, and then see where you are. How far off are you from your spot? You will be off. I'm not saying it's going to be exact every time, okay? Some kata it will be, but most of the time you're going to be within 1 to 2 feet of that starting point when you end. So just keep that in mind. All right, first drill. Let's work on Gedan Barai, right? We do Gedan Barai in Taikyoku Shodan. We do it in Heian Shodan. So we're going to work on Gedan Barai down block. Okay, let's start hitting this side. Ready? Gedan Barai, come on, take. On my count. Ready? Each. Knee. Some. She. Go. 1. Each. Knee. Some. She. Go. You. 1. Yame. Good. Os. Alright. Taikyoku Shodan again. This time footwork only. Don't worry about your upper body. Keep your hands on your hips, okay? I don't want you to get into a fighting position or fighting stance at all. I want you to focus on your lower body. What do I mean? Focus on good front stance, right? This entire kata is front stance. Do you have a good front stance? All right, what are the things we're looking for mechanically? Your outside of your foot is facing your opponent, not the inside of your foot. Okay, if the inside of your foot is facing your opponent, then that means your foot is turned out slightly. The outside of your foot should be facing your opponent. You should be looking down at your knee and just be able to see your first and second toe. Okay, especially if your second toe is longer than your first, like mine. If not, maybe you just see your big toe, and that's okay. Your body is upright. Okay, so you're not leaning forward to see your toe. Okay, your body's upright. You can just look down, just take your head and do this, and I can see my knee and I can see my 2 toes. All right, your back leg is slightly bent. It's not locked out. When you lock it out, you can't drop your hips and you can't drop your glute. Okay, when I lock it out, watch what happens. It shoots me forward, right? It makes my body tilt forward slightly, and I can't drop my weight. Now I can drop my weight. all right? So keep that in mind. Stance is wide enough that you feel supported, okay? And then as we move forward, we're not telegraphing our movement. So again, as I step forward, my front foot doesn't do this. Okay? Don't telegraph that front foot movement. All right? That front foot should stay stable. This is a stable platform. We're moving on this foot. So lean into it. Okay? Just shift your weight onto that foot and step. Shift your weight onto the foot and step. All right? So don't allow that foot to kick out before each step. All right? That's something that as a beginner you really need to focus on, because it can become a problem later on. All right, I see a lot of students who don't focus on this, and in all their later kata and all their later movement, that foot kicks out and that foot kicks out, and it's telegraphing movement. Okay, and it doesn't help at all whenever you get into kumite, because as an opponent, right, I could see you standing there, and as soon as that foot kicks out, I know exactly what you're going to do. I know you're getting ready to move forward because that foot just kicked out, meaning I'm going to step, right? So if you can mitigate that now, it's ideal. Okay, so Taikyoku Shotokan, lower body only. Hands on your hips. Ready? We're not going to go through protocol because we're not actually executing the kata. Ready? Your own speed and pace. Footwork only. Ready? Hajime. And Yame, stop where you are when you're finished. And take a look at your ending point. How far off are you from your beginning point? As you can see with me, I could shift over about 6 inches and I'm right back exactly where I started. All right, so that's typical, okay? So just keep that in mind as you go through this kata. You don't want to be much further off than that with your footwork. If you're off by much more than that, then you're doing something wrong. Okay? You could be taking too short of a step, right? So again, there's several things that it could be. You would have to submit something to me for me to actually take a look and see and kind of help you identify the problem if you can't identify it on your own. Right? But it should be fairly simple to see if you watch yourself where you're making your mistake. Okay? All right, so let's go through Age-uke rising block. Okay, Age-uke rising block is our drill. Ready? All right, ready? Get it, Michael. Take. Age-uke rising block. Mark your target and ich, ni, son, shi, go, kyu. Like that. And ich, ni, son, shi, go, kyu. Like that. Yeah, man. Os. Very good. Okay, so get into good practice here. That's all we're doing. Making sure you're getting good technique in, getting good practice, good drills with these techniques. All right, back to Taikyoku Shotokan. This time, regular speed, regular pace. All right, this is what you would do if you were submitting an exam, for example. Okay, if your instructor in the dojo said, "Can you show me this kata, Taikyoku Shotokan?" This is the speed you want to go. Okay, good ki-eyes. Where are your ki-eye points? Here and here after your third oizuki punch. Keep that in mind. Execute those. All right? Watch your starting point. Watch your end point. Keep track. Okay? This is a good time to do it because now we're actually doing the kata at a normal speed and pace. Before, right, the first time we did it slow. Maybe your pacing makes a difference. Second time we only concentrated on footwork. That one should be pretty close. This one, regular speed and pace, should be right on the money, right? Should be about 6 inches to the left of our starting spot. Okay, let's get started. Ready? We're going through the kata. So protocol together. Yoi, subarachi, re, yoi. And now it's kata. Taikyoku shoran. Your own speed and pace, but this should be at a regular speed and pace. Ready? Hajime. And yame. Okay, when you're finished, stop. Don't move. Take a look where you're starting and ending. Reference your starting to your ending. Okay, so I'm off by about 3 inches. This is my starting. This is where I ended. Okay, again, something to keep in mind going throughout your karate career here, right? Throughout this, whenever you're doing kata, your beginning point should be very close to your end point and vice versa. Okay. All right, drill time. We did Geidan, we did Ayuke. Let's do Oizuki punch. We do a lot of Oizuki punch throughout Taikyoku Shodan. Yeah. We don't do it very much in Heian Shodan. Right? We do it at the beginning, and then we do something different in the middle, right? We do our blocks. We do a couple here, and then we do a lot here. So there is a difference. And remember, this time we're doing Shotokan at the end. Remember, we're also doing a hammer fist right here at the beginning. So a couple of little nuance changes as compared to Taikyoku Shodan, but definitely a difference. All right, so let's go through Oizuki punch. A couple things to consider. Stance doesn't change. Body weight, shift forward as you move. Hip drive is important here, and synchronicity. Synchronicity, I want to talk about that because I don't want you to get confused with how synchronicity is supposed to work with your Oizuki punch, right? So when you're here in Geidan, for instance, and we do Oizuki punch, okay? The Oizuki punch comes, it didn't come when my foot landed, right? Okay, I think that that's key, and that's what a lot of people get confused, is that as that front foot lands, that front punch lands. It's not necessarily true because hip drive, right? That's what's important. That's what helps the power in that punch. So in order to get that hip drive, it's coming off of your back leg. So the synchronicity comes as your back leg is not locking out, but positioning correctly. Okay, so I'm going to do it again, but I want you to watch the synchronicity of my punch with my back foot and my back leg. Okay, Geidan, Oizuki punch. As that back leg locks into position, and I don't mean lock out, I mean locks into position, the punch is thrown. The synchronicity comes because that twist, okay? When that leg locks out from here to here, that's where the punch is thrown. Okay? There is some synchronicity with the step and with the front leg, all right, but I don't want you to get too overly concerned with the front foot landing and the front punch landing at the same time. They're going to be very close, but it's not going to be the same time. Okay? Synchronicity is really about the back leg power rotation as the punch is driven, okay? But it won't be at the same time that that front foot lands, okay? All right, so I don't want to confuse you too much, and I don't want you to get into the weeds of it too much. Throw your punch as you normally would, but don't think about synchronicity being with that front foot as much, okay? As much. All right, let's do Oizuki punch. Ready? Get him right from take. Heel. Oizuki punch on my count. Ready? Ich. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. One. Ich. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. Heel. One. Amen. Good. Another thing to keep in mind when you're throwing that Oizuki punch, shoot on level of someone that is your height. Okay? Don't throw these punches up here. Don't throw them in front of your face. That's Jodan, right? Jodan is up here. Chudon is here. Don't go so low that you're punching in the belly though. That's when you start getting more into Gaidon. So punch, chest, straight on. Okay? If you do your punch and you just do a 90-degree bend in your arm and then try to come back, you should hit yourself in the chest. Okay? Targeting directly in front of you. Your punch is not here, okay, and your punch is not here. It's directly center. All right? If you have a camera set up, if you have a light switch, if you have a doorknob's kind of low. Light switch is about the right height. For me, okay, so again, take your height into consideration, but pick a point on the wall as you're going through this drill, okay? The camera is actually too high for me, so I can come down a little bit and say, all right, I'm going to pick this spot directly below the camera, but it is directly in front of me. It's not out here, it's not out here. It's directly in front of me, so my punch is there, okay? I'm picking a point directly in front of me to punch, and my fist should be lined up with that every time, regardless of whether it's your right or your left. So don't punch out to the sides like this. Your punch should always be here. Just like your kicks, right? Once you get to kicks, your kicks aren't out here, your kicks are directly in front of you here. Everything's going center mass of your opponent. All right? First time doing hand Shodan today. Don't get confused, all right? A lot of students, after you do Taikyoku Shodan, get confused and get into Heian Shodan, and the first thing they forget is this hammer fist, yeah? Okay? And then when they go down the middle, instead of turning and doing Ageuke, they'll start throwing punches. So don't get confused, lock it in your mind, okay? Mushin, right? No mind. Focus on what we're doing right now, which is the Kata Heian Shodan. Get that into your mind. Do that kata. Okay? All right. Slow for the first. Okay? Not on my count, on your count, at your speed, at your pace. Slow. If you can do this kata at a regular pace or you can go fast, I want you to slow it down. Okay? Slow it down. Ready? Let's go through protocol together. Yoi, Subarachi, right? Yo. And now it's kata. Heian Shodan. Your own speed and pace, slow. And hajime. Stay in position when you're finished. your feet. Compared to your starting position, I'm off again by about 3 inches, maybe 4. All right, so what I typically do with all my katas, I start in this square. You can tell that by rewinding the video and watching any one of the 100 videos that I have. My katas start in this blue square. I was over here when I finished that kata. So my right foot's still definitely in the square, my left foot out of the square by about 3 to 4 inches. Okay, again, something for you to keep in mind, something for you to watch for whenever you're doing your own kata. All right, you can start your kata anywhere in the room. And even if you have enough room to do it, you can start hand shodan there, or there, or there, or there. Move it around, okay? I don't want you to always start in the same position. Move it around, but be mindful of your start position compared to your end position, regardless of where you start the kata, okay? All right, so we've worked through the 2 blocks that we most use at this level, and Oizuki punch. Great. Now we're going to add a combination. Okay, so the last 2 drills we're going to do today are a combination of Geto down block and then Gyakuzuki reverse punch. And then the next drill we do is going to be Ageuke. So still focusing on the 2 blocks that we know at this point, right? The 2 blocks that we practiced throughout this kata, followed by a Gyakuzuki reverse punch. Okay, so this is not an Oizuki punch. For this drill, we're going to start on that side, just like we always do. We're going to come down to start here, Geto down block. We're going to then punch Gyakuzuki reverse punch. Then on my count, each block, punch, knee, block, punch. Okay? Let me show you that from the side so you make sure you have it. This time, the Gyakuzuki reverse punch relies a lot on your hip twist. Power coming up through that back leg. The twist, right? Because we've twisted the opposite direction for the Gyakuzuki, or for the Geto down block. Because we've twisted the opposite direction for Ageuke rising block. That winds up that back punch. Okay? So just watch it here. Geto, Gyakuzuki. Now watch it, I move forward. Geto down block. I'm twisted out to again, Hanmi position, and the punch comes to Shomen. Okay? Again, we go to Geto down block. My hips are in Shomen, or in Hanmi. The punch comes in Shomen. Okay? All right. That's what we're focusing on right now. Geto down block, Gyakuzuki reverse punch. Okay? All right, let's go. Starting here. Ready? Geto komite. Please. Gyakuzuki reverse punch. Ready? Combination of the 2. 1 count, both techniques. Ready? Each. Knee. So. She. Go. What? And punch. Ready? Each. Knee. So. She. Go. What? Amen. Very good. Okay. Now we're doing hand shodan again. Lower body movement only. All right. So things to think about here are back stance at the end. Everything else is going to be pretty much the same except for the beginning here. Right? After we do our turn, we've done our punch. We're coming back to the turn here. We have to throw this hammer fist. So your feet are going to come closer together to a Renose-dachi. Hammer fist. Then you step into the punch and a front stance. Then you turn and you begin your 3 blocks. All right, so keep that in mind as we go through this. This is hand shodan. Lower body only, not Taikyoku shodan. There is a difference in the footwork. Coming back, After that third oizuki punch, you move into back stance for your Shutokens. Okay, that's going to be one of the drills that we practice. All right. Keep this in mind. When we're finished with the kata today, we're going to go through every single drill again, back to back. All right. All right. Let's go back here. Kata, hand shodan, lower body only. Hands on your hips. We're not going through protocol because we're not performing the kata. Ready? Think this through. Go at your own speed and pace. Think this through and nail all of your technique properly, all of your footwork properly, because it is different than Heian, than Taikyoku Shodan. All right, this is Heian Shodan. Ready? Ajime. And Yame, when you're done, take a look at your finished position, compare it to your starting position. How far off are you? I am again to the left about, my left foot's only off by about 3 inches. So again, if I just move it this way, move my right foot back there, this is my starting position. Okay. All right. How difficult was that? Not very, right? It's difficult to remember and get into the pattern after you've done Taikyoku Shodan 3 times. I know, but again, Mushin, no mind, focus on the kata that we're focusing on, and work through your footwork. All right? Okay, so let's do Ageuke rising block, followed by Gyakuzuki reverse punch. Okay? All right, starting here. Ready? Actually, let me demonstrate it for you just so you know. Okay, so we're going to step into Geto Mirai, like we always do to start. We're going to move forward with an Ageuke rising block, Gyakuzuki reverse punch. Very, very, very similar to Geto, right? So if we're here with our punch, our body is in this position, this Hanmi position. Okay, because I'm minimizing target, and this helps with the power of the block, up and out. Now, hip drives this punch. Throw the punch with the hip power, drop your weight. This is the block, this is the punch. Block, punch. Your weight drops, that knee bends, the power comes up through your hip and drives that punch. Okay, again, if you're just from here to the punch quickly, there's a lot of power there, right? Here to there. All right? All right, we can do this. Ageuke rising block. Gyakuzuki reverse punch. Ready? Okay, where I can take. Shoot! On my count, 2 technique, block and punch. Mark your target. Ready? Each. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. What? Mark your target. Each. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. What? Yeah, man. Oh, very good. All right. Let's do the kata. Heian, Shotokan. One more time. Regular speed and pace. Okay, again, this is the speed and pace that if I'm your sensei standing in front of you in a dojo and said, show me Heian Shotokan. This is the speed and pace you want. Not overly slow, all right, where you're thinking through every technique, all right? It should be coming to you just like that, all right? Second, not too fast. Don't want you rushing through the kata, all right? One of the big mistakes, and I covered this on another video, is one of the big mistakes with kata is people rush through because they're just trying to get to the end, right? They're just, okay, I'm nervous, I have to do this in front of somebody, what am I gonna do? I just gotta get through it. And you rush. Don't rush. There's no reason to rush. Good technique, good kime, good power, normal speed, right? Don't rush through this. Mark your starting spot, compare it to your ending spot, right? Because we're going through regular speed and pace. So I want you to see the difference. I'll stop at the end just like I have thus far, and I'll see the difference in my starting and ending point. You should do the same. Ready? Yoi. Subirachi. Ready? Yoi. And now it's kata. Heian Shotokan. Your own speed and pace, regular speed and pace. Ready? Hajime. And yame. Good. You should only be a couple seconds in front or behind me on that. All right. Check your starting and ending position. Compare the two. Again, I'm off by, this time by only about 2 inches. If I just go over and over, here I am. Right? Check yours. If it's off by a lot, something you need to work through, something you need to figure out to say, why am I off so far from my starting point? Start to analyze it. It has to be something with your footwork. It's definitely not upper body, right? Either you're taking too long of a step, too short of a step, or being inconsistent between the two, right? Maybe you're taking long steps as you move forward, right? But then on this line, maybe you're taking short steps. So you do your punch here, you turn, like it's here, and then you turn and you gate on, but you're short. My feet are way closer together, yeah? And then you do a long step for your punch. Then you come back here, okay? That's gonna make a difference. So be consistent with your steps. Be consistent as you transition from one technique to the next, as you transition within a turn, okay? These are the things, that's what's gonna make a big difference down here from your starting and end position. So just keep that in mind. It's gonna be something subtle and small. It's going to be inconsistencies between stances and how long they are, or how long you're taking steps. All right, we worked through a lot of drills today. We have all right, we're about 35 minutes in. Let's go through, let's work some of these drills one more time. Okay, I want to try to get through them. So let's do gate umbarai, down, age back. Okay, I'll remind you. Then we're going to just start right there. We're going to do the turn again, and we're going to do gate umbarai with the Yakuzuki reverse punch, down, age reverse punch on the way back. Then we'll stop, and we'll look at maybe something else before we close out class. All right, let's start again on this side. Ready? Gate umbarai only. On the way down, Mawate, I'll make an announcement. Ready? Gate umbarai, take, chill. Gate umbarai down block. On my count, ready? Ich, ni, son, shi, go. 1. Taikyoku rising block. Mark your target. Ready? Ich, ni, son, shi, go. Q. 1. From here, Yakuza reverse punch. Ready? Ich. All right, now we're going to count it out. Gate arm right down block, Yakuza reverse punch. Ready? 2 techniques, 1 count. Ich, ni, son, shi, go. 1. Taikyoku rising block, Yakuza reverse punch. Mark your target. 2 techniques, 1 count. Ready? Ich, ni, son, shi, go. Kill. 1. Man. Good. All right. The one thing we didn't practice today, and I really wanted to get this in, is Kukutsudachi back stance, Shotokan. A lot of people have a lot of trouble with this technique. Okay, so let's just work through it. All right. I'm not going to drill it into you because it's been done in other classes. All right, the proper way to do this. I still have a lot of students who are not properly executing the technique with their blocking arm. Okay, the technique should look like this. Your back foot, I'm going to use the lines on the floor, and I suggest you do the same. If you have lines on your floor, use them. Your front foot on a line, your back foot on a line, perpendicular at a 90-degree angle to one another. Right? If I take this heel and drag it to my back foot, they should meet. They meet. All right? That means your foot is not out here and it's not over here. Okay? This should be the stance. This is back stance. You should feel like if you just took a stool and put it under your left butt cheek, if your left foot is forward, you should just be able to rest on that stool. Right stance, exactly the opposite. Okay? Knees are bent. More weight on your back leg. Stick a stool right under here, and you can just rest your cheek on it. Just like that. As far as the technique is concerned, your non-blocking hand, your hikite hand, is right about here, chest level, sternum level, right between your 2 pectoral muscles. Okay, it's like you're holding them up. All right, flat hand. Hold those 2 pectoral muscles up. Okay, front hand. Put it out like this. Make a 90-degree bend with your arm. Turn it. Your fingertips should be level with your shoulder. Okay? Turn your hand out just slightly. Okay? Because you're not blocking with the back of your hand. You're blocking with the ridge hand, the knife edge of your hand. That's the block. Okay? That's it. This is a 90-degree turn with your arm. I get people doing this all the time, and people doing this all the time, and people doing this all the time. It's a 90-degree turn. Put your hands straight out. 90-degree turn. Rotate. Fingertips are high. Yes? This doesn't change. You just drop there. Fingertips are same height as my shoulder. Turn the hand out just slightly. Curve. Make it stronger. That's your block. All right? Keep that in mind with every single technique. Work on that, all right? Because a lot of students get it wrong, and they consistently get it wrong, all right? Let's work on this one. Same thing, line drill. Back stance, we're transitioning, we're walking, throwing that Shotokan with each step, all right? And this one should be pretty synchronous. As the front foot lands, the block lands. As the front foot lands, the block lands. All right. This one should be pretty much right on. All right. Milliseconds apart with that front foot landing and the block landing. Okay. All right. Let's start here. Go ahead and step into a back stance. Feel comfortable with it. This is a left back stance. Okay? Line up your hands. Make sure you have your block correct. Shotokan. Ready? We're going to step forward and execute the block. On my count, ready? Each. Knee. Son. Shi. Awate. So you can either turn here, it's just that simple, you're just rotating your feet and your body, or you can step and rotate. It's up to you. Awate is completely up to you. Ready? Same technique all the way through. Ready? Each. Knee. Son. Shi. Awate. Yeah, man. Good. All right. So that's class today. All right. Practice that Shotokan if you need to a couple more times. We're pretty far over on class time, so I just want to make sure. Number one, we got Taikyoku Shodan. Let me speak. We got Taikyoku Shodan done very well. We practiced it 3 times. We practiced it 3 ways. Slow, footwork only, normal speed and pace. We did the exact same thing for Heian Shodan. Very important. When you're learning kata, these are the 3 ways that you should practice the kata. Go through it slowly. Make sure you have the technique down. Then go through using your footwork only. Make sure you have good balance. Make sure your starting and end position are very similar or very close to one another, right? And then the 3rd time you do it, normal speed and pace, right? Work out the kinks the 1st time, you're going slow. Work out the kinks of your stances the 2nd time. 3rd time, lock it in. And then drill in between, okay? If you don't want to do the kata over and over, do drills that you're pulling from the kata, right? This is basically how I end up teaching a lot of my classes. If you go to my website and you start taking classes and lessons with me, you're going to see that the lessons that we do, the drills that we do, are pulled directly from the kata, so that when it comes time to do the kata, you're like, oh, this is basically the drills just put together, all right? And that's what you should be doing as well. If you're trying to learn a kata, break it down into individual pieces and practice drills of those individual pieces. So taking Heian Shodan, for instance, if you start here, get on, punch, do that. Do it over and over and over and over and over. Okay? Do it at least 5 times, right? When we start there, when we end there, we're typically at number 4 or number 5. Do it 4 or 5 times. Then whenever you're doing Heian Shodan, you're like, oh yeah, this is just me going through a drill. It makes it easier to learn. It makes it easier to retain. All right? All right, let's come back to center of class. Yoi. Musubirachi. Right. Yoi. Stays up. All right. Today's meditation, I just want you to go over your 2 kata. Go through Taikyoku Shodan. Go through Heian Shodan. Thinking about watching yourself go through the kata. Are you taking long enough steps? Are they consistent? Okay? Your starting point, ending point should be about the same. So, Mokuso Yume, Sensei Yure. Tate. Yoi. Subirachi. Re. Yoi. Os. All right, students, thank you for joining me for class today. Great beginner class, going over the basics, going over the 2 kata that you should know at this point or that you're learning at this point. Good class to come back to until you get it down, until you're ready for your white belt test or you've passed your white belt test. All right? We'll see you in the next class. Os.